All right, my dear sixth period, let's look at an example. And here we go. We have the exciting Khan Academy practice here, and I get to use this awesome pen, so bear with me. Okay, so we've got this equation, and it says, what is the slope of a line? And it might be really tempting to be like, oh, it's -4. Luckily for us, that's not even an answer choice here. Okay, so we are definitely not going to choose 4. We are going to first get this into slope-intercept form, because we're going to remember that in order to find the slope, we need it in slope-intercept form. So we've got -4, and you can do this all on Khan, or you're welcome to grab a marker. You guys know where they are. Just put them back where you found them before you leave. So -4 plus 7, I'm going to have to write fast because my time is limited on these videos. So stay with me. -4x plus 7 equals 2y minus 3. And what we discussed in our notes is that slope-intercept form, what makes it unique is that the y is alone. But look over here on this side. I should have here we go. Look over here on this side. You can see that the y is not alone. I have two things over here. I have a 2 and I have a -3. So I'm going to get rid of this -3 first. It's my first step. Terms beside, this is the y term. This is another term. I'm going to turn this term into a 0. So let's, oh my goodness. There we go. Let's do that. So we're going to first get rid of this -3. Now, how am I going to get rid of this -3? I am going to do the opposite, which is to add 3. But whatever you do to one side, I know Brian drives you crazy when I say this over and over, but it's important. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So now the question is, do I add 3 to the -4x, or do I add 3 to the 7? And I want you to think back to when Anthony had a bottle of Gatorade, and I was like, hey, Anthony, if you had that Gatorade, could I ask you for some coffee? Or would you want me to pour coffee into your Gatorade? Definitely not, right? We want to have things that are like each other. You're like, but miss, there's no 3 over here. But remember, it doesn't have to be the same term. It just has to be the same kind of term. Take a guess. Can I add the 3 to the -4x or to the 7? Well, think about this -4x as looking like x's. And this 7 is just looking like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if you remember doing grouping sticks like this. And this 3 is 1, 2, 3. I didn't draw out all the x's, sorry guys. So when we look at it like that, the 3 can be added to the 7. So I'm going to add the 3 here, and let's go through. So my -4x, that just comes down. My 7 plus 3 becomes plus 10. Over here, this -3 plus 3 cancels out, and all I'm left with is my 2y. Am I done? Well, the question to ask ourselves, is the y alone? Oh dear, there's a very feisty spider here, but that's okay. All right, so we've got 2y, and think about it like this. I've got y, y. She wants to be on my computer. Okay. We're gonna keep going. So we've got y, y. I want to get y by itself. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna split it. I'm gonna divide it by 2. But again, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And in fact, to everything. I have to divide everything by 2. So I'm gonna take a look at each of these terms and divide them by 2. Let's start with the one we already know really well. 2 divided by 2. I can use my bubbles like we've talked about before. It's gonna be 2 bubbles. I'm dividing 2 into 2 bubbles. Each bubble has exactly 1. I'm left with just y. I don't even need to write the 1, because remember, if I have just y, it's an imaginary 1. Oh god, 10 divided by 2 is 5. I'm running out of time. I have 30 seconds. And -4 divided by 2. I'm going to like this. I've got -4, -2, 3, 4. That's -2 on each side. The x here, this is a +5. My slope is with my x. It's -2. Whew. All right, good timing.